Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you what I packed for lunch this week for graduate school. I'm going to be showing you my meals Monday through Friday, how I pack everything, and the recipes that I used. So if you'd like some lunch inspiration, just keep on watching. On Sunday night, I made rice and meat. Here I have my Dominican longaniza, which is sausage, and salami. And I began by first chopping everything up. I'm placing my pot on the stove and I'm going to add some vegetable oil. Then I will add my meat. And I'm going to cook this until it browns a little bit because the meat is already pre-cooked. Now I'm going to add some red bell peppers, some red onions, and stir this together. Now I'm going to add some Dominican sazon, some tomato sauce, some chopped garlic, and some olives. Now I'm going to season with black pepper, Dominican oregano, sazon culantro y achote, and a little piece of a Maggi cube. I'm going to add adobo to taste, and then I'm going to pour in my water. When my water began to boil, I added my rice. I stirred this together, and I left it on high heat until my water dried out a little bit. And after my water dried out, I put the lid on my pan, and I lowered the temperature to low, pretty much in between 2 and low. I flipped my rice halfway through its cooking process, then I put the lid back on and let it cook the rest of the way. And when my rice was done, I just packed it up in Tupperware containers so that I could eat throughout the week for lunch and dinner. On Monday, I took my rice out of the fridge and I paired it with my juice of the week, which had banana, spinach, and green apples. I also made a little side snack with some blueberries and some cashew seeds. I'm rolling up some cutlery in a napkin, and I'm just gonna pack everything in my little reusable lunch bag. On Tuesday, I made some French toast, and I'm making almond and blueberry flavored French toast. I started out by cracking 2 eggs, and now I'm adding vanilla flavored coffee creamer and a little bit of oat milk, and I'm gonna add some cinnamon as well and mix this together very well. Next, I added just the yolk of 1 egg just to make my French toast a little bit creamier. And I whisk. Now I'm just taking some regular old plain white bread and dipping it into my batter. And I'm going to toast my French toast in some butter. And just flip them over when they're ready and browned. And I made about 5 pieces. Next, I'm going to add some toasted almonds, and these are salt-free. I'm just going to chop these up so that I could place on top of my French toast. I'm going to cut my French toast in half just so that they could fit better in my little lunchbox container. And then just add the almonds on top for garnish. I'm taking the rest of my French toast and storing it away so that I could have it for breakfast some other day. And now I'm going to add some pancake syrup in my little container. And then I'm going to add my blueberries that will also go on top of my French toast when I'm ready to eat, along with my syrup. I'm packing everything up and everything fits so perfectly. This lunch had to be my favorite lunch of the week because it was so good and it definitely satisfied my sweet tooth. That same night, I came home from school and decided to make a shrimp bisque, which is like a white creamy shrimp soup. And here I have my shrimp, my chopped vegetables, as well as some rosemary and thyme that I grinded up in my pestle. I'm adding some vegetable oil to my pot, along with some white onion, some green peppers, and I'm stirring this together. Next, I'm adding some chopped garlic and a little bit of flour and mixing this very well. And this flour is going to thicken my soup later on. Now I'm adding a can of chicken broth, but if you could find seafood broth, that's even better. I'm adding some frozen corn and some frozen peas. Now I'm going to add some heavy cream, and this heavy cream did not go bad. It's a little thick because it was frozen from my fridge. And I'm mixing this together, seasoning with some pepper, the rosemary and thyme that I grinded up earlier, and some fish sauce. After my sauce thickened a little, I added my shrimp, and I left my shrimp no more than 3 minutes because I did not want to overcook it. And after this, my soup was done, and I just poured it onto my bowl so that I could have this for dinner. I paired this with some fresh baguette bread, and this was a perfect combination. It was delicious. I decided to store the rest away in mason jars to have it the next day. The next day, I took my bread and soup out of the fridge, and I'm just gonna cut up my bread into 2 pieces, and I'm going to wrap them in aluminum foil. Prior to this, I put my bread in the microwave for about 20 seconds because it was in the fridge, just to make sure it was warm before I ate it. I'm pairing this with my juice of the week and my thermos where I will pour my soup after I've warmed it up in my mason jar. I added some crackers as a snack, and I'm rolling up cutlery and placing everything in my bag. On Thursday, I decided to make breakfast for lunch. Here I have some Dominican salami, some eggs, and some tater tots. I'm beginning by boiling some eggs. Here I have 3 eggs, and I'm going to cook my tater tots in the air fryer. I'm separating them out so they cook evenly. I chopped up my salami and I added it to the air fryer about halfway through the cooking process of the tater tots. Once my eggs were ready, I chopped them up in half. I seasoned with olive oil, a little bit of white vinegar, and some salt. Now I'm placing my eggs in my lunchbox container. When my tater tots were ready, I added these as well, along with my sausages. I'm going to add some ketchup to my sauce container, and I'm going to place it in my lunchbox. And now I'm going to add some chopped up green apples, and I'm going to put lime over it so that they don't brown too early. And I think this lunch ended up being a great idea, but I wouldn't do the tater tots again because I hated the texture when I went to eat them because they got all stale. So if you choose to replicate this lunch, I suggest doing sweet potato tater tots because they don't get stale like that, unless you can find a brand of tater tots that doesn't get stale, because this brand was just a little bit dry. I'm adding my leftover French toast for breakfast, and I'm adding some pancake syrup and just packing it up so that I could have it during class on my break. And I'm packing everything up in my reusable bag. On Friday, I decided to make canoas, and this is a Puerto Rican recipe that I came across on Instagram. I basically baked a plantain. This is a yellow plantain. I cut it in half, and now I'm making a little opening in the middle to make it look like a canoe. Now I'm gonna stuff these with leftover ground turkey, and I'm gonna pop this in the microwave for a minute because it's been in the fridge just to thaw it out. And I'm gonna add this meat to the center of my plantains. And notice that I baked my plantain with the peel on it. The recipe that I then saw on YouTube said to leave it on so that it doesn't get dried out, and it works just perfectly. And I really made sure to overstuff these because the plantains are thick. And then I added a little bit of shredded cheese, and I popped this back into the oven until the cheese melted and the plantains were all the way cooked through. These came out and the cheese was nice and melted, and this was delicious.